Welcome here on a Tuesday, a very cold, rainy, and windy afternoon in Sacramento. Welcome to the Koeneke Hour here on KSSU. I'm Nick Koeneke, your host. This is a very passionate, heated, incomparable, and an inconsistent discussion about everything in the sports world to my friends and family down south, back east, and up in Sacramento. Thanks for tuning in to the program, guys, here on a Tuesday. What's going on? I am freezing. I am wet. And I'm not in the greatest mood. So we got a great show for you. I'm going to do a lot of ranting. And I've got a lot of interesting topics today. Going to talk about Robert Kraft and his little, deal he's in. Kind of a bind he's in Florida. We got LeBron James talk as him and the Lakers continue to struggle and look like they will not be making the playoffs for the first time in 15 years for LeBron. And we got a lot other topics to discuss, including hot takes with my friend Andrew. He's going to come on later in the show to talk about that. But I wanted to start today's show before I get into my spots and introducing myself. I want to call somebody out right now. I get texts from all these people, and I get texts from friends specifically and people I know who are hey, I'm listening to the show. They're just responding about the show. And I got a text about 10 minutes ago from a guy named Steven. I will not point out his last name, okay? I won't, because I'm not that kind of guy. But Steven texts me, and he goes, "Why isn't your show on? It's 5 o'clock." And I go, "What are you talking about?" He's like, 5 o'clock? You said 5 o'clock. I'm like, no, if you listen and watch my Instagram, it's actually 5:10. My show is slotted into the 5 to 7. But if you're familiar with my show, I never start on time, and I never end on time either. I always end a little early. And then he texts me. He's like, "What is this music?" And I'm like, "It's country music." And he's like, "Why?" And I'm like, "Well, it gets me pumped up, and I enjoy country music." And it just got me a little flustered. And Steven, if you don't like the music, if you don't like waiting around, then don't listen, okay? Don't text me, don't comment, don't fluster me before my show. Come out and start complaining. I know it's all jokingly, and I appreciate your listen, obviously, but yeah, I just thought, he goes, "Yeah, call me out. Let's see it, let's hear it. Why don't you call me out?" And I'm like, I will. I call everybody out on this program. That is my passive-aggressive way of getting back at people, is coming onto the airwaves and talking about them or criticizing them. Guys, I never start the show on time. I never do. So get used to it. It's always right around 5:10. I listen to my music. I play 3 songs that will get me pumped up for the show. If you don't like it, then put it on pause until I come on. Okay? Or come back later. Or whatever. Or go listen to the podcast. Do whatever. But don't come texting me and going like, "Oh, you're not starting on time. Where are you? What are you, my mom?" No. I do what I want. This is my program. It's called the Koeneke Hour. It's not called the Steven Hour. Okay? It's not called whoever else. It's my program. All right, the Koeneke Hour is brought to you by Sided. Nice little segue here. A brand new debate platform that rewards you for your opinion. Are you tired of the chaos and unorganized nature of Twitter, with personal attacks by unknown trolls thrown into the mix? There was no scoreboard, no clock, and no way to crown a winner. Sided, a one-on-one civilized and timed debate with a winner ultimately chosen by the voters. Clock is ticking, the pressure's on. Get in the game. Go to sided.co, create an account, and prove you've got the strongest takes and best opinions. That's sided.co. All right, once again, I'm Nick Koeneke. Thanks for tuning in to today's program. Make sure to check out my podcast on YouTube at the Keep Calm and Stay Offended podcast. Check out my Twitter at the Koeneke Hour. Check me out on Instagram at Nick Koeneke. And also, if you're not able to listen to all of today's show, then go back and listen to the podcast. I post the podcast. You can be able to go back and listen to all the interviews and all the segments that I have. So, once again, thank you for tuning into today's program. All right, guys. Let's start today with the Koeneke rant of the week. Okay? I put on my Instagram yesterday that I'm having a little bit of a situation outside my dorm room, okay? And if you didn't catch that, then here it is, okay? I'm having a situation where I am afraid to walk to school every day. Me being a college student, a 23-year-old man, you're probably thinking to yourself, "Nick, why are you scared to walk to school every day? Like, what's going on?" And The reason why is every day when I walk, I'm about 2 blocks away from campus. So it's literally like a 5-minute walk. And every day, since probably 2 weeks ago, the middle of February, I've been intercepted by a group of Girl Scouts. Let me explain before you get all judgy, okay? I get intercepted by these Girl Scouts, okay? I get intercepted by their parents. And let me explain, people. If you've ever been around Girl Scouts or passed their, table full of their overpriced cookies, you know exactly what I'm saying. They are bullies, okay? They shove the $5 box of like 20 cookies down your throat. I'm fat, okay? So I love sweets, okay? I can't stop eating them, okay? And they just bully me. I'm like their number one customer. Every day, they know exactly when I leave my dorm room. I get up, I get, whatever. They come after school, so a lot of times it's actually coming back from school. And they know exactly when I get out of school. And they see me cross the street, and they're like, oh, there he is. Let's go get him. And they just come running over, and they're like, eat our cookies. And I'm just like, They bully me. They're just like, you don't exercise. You love cookies. Why not support us? Why don't you support the Girl Scouts? Come on, man. A bunch of like 10 to 12-year-old girls coming up. They're like, eat our cookies. And they bully me into buying their cookies. They take my money. Okay. Girl Scout cookies are great, right? But they're way overpriced. And then you got to deal with the spastastic little girls running around. Eat our cookies, eat our cookies. They're bullies. And they need to be eliminated. Girl Scouts need to be eliminated. Boy Scouts don't do that. I don't even know Boy Scouts sell stuff. But Boy Scouts don't do that kind of stuff. They don't. Girl Scouts continually bully me as I'm walking back and forth. They're like, oh, there's the fat kid. Let's go talk to him. I'm really not that fat. I'm just subconscious, okay? Don't judge me. Girl Scouts are the most relentless beings on this planet. Not humans, not animals, not like tigers or, whatever, sharks in the ocean. No. What I'm most scared of in my life are Girl Scouts. Because I know they're going to bully me into buying their cookies. And then I'm just going to be just shameful in my house, just throwing down cookie after cookie like it's so good. But they make me feel so bad about myself. Just scarfing down Thin Mint after Thin Mint. Girl Scouts are relentless. They need to be eliminated and stay away from them. Word of advice, stay away from them. All right, this is the Koeneke Hour 517, February 26, 2018. Thanks for tuning into the program. If you want to call on the show, 916-278-3666. If anybody has had negative or positive Girl Scout experiences, come tell me. I remember when I was a kid, those cookies, those boxes cost like $2. I would go grab like 8 quarters when I was a kid, and I'd be like, give me the cookies. I'd eat them in like 10 minutes because I was crazy. But nowadays, they just make me fat. Man, do they taste good, though. Thin Mints, the peanut butter chocolate ones, I don't know what those are called. The coconut one, caramel coconut, whatever they're called. They're all pretty damn good. All right, they are. And I know what they're doing, and I still let them do it. I'll be turning the corner. They're literally waiting for me. Looking down, we have a street called here Folsom, okay? Folsom Avenue. They just see me walking. They're like, there he is, on time. Let's attack this guy. Attack him emotionally and, psychologically to get him to buy more of our cookies. And I just can't stop. They're my high school bully in college. Girl Scouts. They don't even go to this college. They don't even go to this school. And they just constantly just nag at me, and they're like, you eat our cookies. So they're looking up at me. They're like, "Hi, do you like some cookies? You bought some last time. We could tell by your stomach you want some more. And that you're out of cookies. So can you give us $10? We'll give you like a box. Because that's how much they cost nowadays. And if you don't buy our cookies, we're going to emotionally and psychologically ruin you. Because we're just a couple little girls." All right, moving on from that. Let's get into some sports before we head towards our first break at about 5:35. So I've dedicated a good amount of time for this segment, and hopefully it goes as well as I planned. Has anybody been paying attention to the Lebron saga in LA and the Lakers and what's going on with them? Has anybody been paying attention to what LeBron has been saying to his team, to the media, to the public about why their team is struggling? LeBron calling out specific players, saying, not specific players, but players in his team saying, "Hey guys, he came out yesterday saying if you're still if basketball isn't your number one priority and you're distracted and you aren't playing up to your ability, you either need to fix that or you need to go find another team to play for." That's LeBron coming out and saying that, okay? And LeBron coming out like a week ago, I think it was, saying, "Hey, playoff mode is activated. This year I've got to start my playoff mode a little earlier because we aren't winning right now. And we're in a playoff hunt just to make an 8 seed." Who does LeBron think he's fooling by saying that? Who does he think he's fooling? LeBron, you're equally responsible as these young kids. I said it over the summer when after LeBron decided to go to the Lakers and sign with the Lakers. I said, he's going to be a locker room problem, man. He always is. But he's going to be even more of a problem in LA. And the reason I said that was that LeBron, everybody knows, it's been documented, it's been seen throughout his career in the NBA, that he gets coaches fired, he gets people traded, and he's the real GM of whoever he's playing for, whether that's Miami, whether that's Cleveland, whether that's LA. And I came out and said, okay, if LeBron is going to go to LA, okay, he's going to sign a 4-year contract. And I found out yesterday there's no opt-out in this contract. So he's fully committed to playing for the Lakers. He's fully committed to what it entails with a young team that doesn't play all that great together and lacks another superstar. LeBron knew that. I think LeBron coming into this season knew that he wasn't going to win a championship. But I know he knows that he thought they'd be much better. Okay. But before the season started, I said he's going to be a locker room problem. He's going to have expectations on this young team that's still trying to learn how to play the game. Lonzo Ball, Kyle Kuzma, guys like that, Ingram. Young guys who are just learning how to just win a game. Doesn't matter about the magnitude, but learning to win a NBA basketball game. They're still trying to do that. You got a young coach in Luke Walton who's probably going to get fired. But that's another story. LeBron is coming in and came into that situation, and I knew he was going to be a problem because he's going to put all these expectations on these young guys. He's going to put all these expectations on this coaching staff, this organization, because he's the king, the so-called king, the self-proclaimed king. LeBron came into that organization, and he's been an utter negative influence on the rest of that team. All you've heard about is them losing, locker room issues, players yelling at one another, coaches yelling at players, and LeBron being clearly unhappy. This is the most unhappy I've ever seen LeBron these last couple of weeks. And LeBron, now, which I kind of predicted, not tune my own horn. Well, I kind of am. So it's kind of I told you so. You can go back and listen to the podcast. I said this. I talk to John Browner, who I have on this show all the time. He's my NBA expert. I asked him, I was like, hey, LeBron's going to be a bad influence on this team. What do you think of that comment? And he totally disagreed. Because he knows how to win. He knows how to get to a championship, playing big games in the playoffs, the finals, wherever, right? But I think LeBron put too big of expectations on this team. And now that they're not performing, and they're not performing up to his standard, not the Lakers standard, okay? LeBron James' standard, he's tuned out. So, LeBron, let me ask you this question, okay? Excuse me. LeBron, let me ask you this question. Who do you think you're fooling by saying playoff mode activated? And within a week and a half, on film, it shows you not hustling, not playing any defense, being very critical of your teammates on the floor, and then going post-game and talking negatively about the team. That's supposed to be your king? That's supposed to be your leader? Spare me. LeBron needs to be liked, okay? And when things aren't going well, and people are criticizing him, he feels the need that he needs to move that negative energy off to somebody else. Because LeBron always has to be liked. LeBron's got to be the prodigy son, okay? He's got to be the, Jesus of the NBA. He's got to be the resurrection of Michael Jordan. He's like the rest of the NBA. This is a problem with the NBA. Everybody needs to be liked, and everybody can't take criticism. LeBron, Kevin Durant specifically, even more than LeBron. Westbrook, right? And Kyrie Irving. He's come out and had, issues. Ego issues. LeBron's always had an ego. And when you put that ego into a young locker room, into a young organization, and you think that's going to help? No. Especially when they lose. Winning solves everything. But the Lakers aren't winning. The Lakers are not winning. And LeBron, when he wants to be, when he signed with the Lakers, he's like, I'm gonna be a father figure. I'm gonna be a veteran presence in this locker room, which makes sense. I'm gonna be a guy these guys can look up to. Not with the last couple of performances and the way you sit at the end of benches, not playing any defense, not rebounding, only scoring 22 points last night, whatever it is. I know we hold LeBron to such a high standard, but he put himself there, man. It's not us, it's LeBron. So to all the LeBron defenders, and you're thinking, Nick, you're just criticizing because he's a hater. No, I'm not a hater of LeBron. But when you put those expectations on yourself and your team, I'm going to be critical, okay? And when things go bad to worse, like it is now for the Lakers, who have more of a chance of getting a high draft pick than making the playoffs, I'm going to be critical of the leader. I'm going to be critical of the nucleus. Supposedly the nucleus. I'm going to be critical of the catalyst of this team, and that's LeBron James. Playoff mode activated? Please. Your playoff mode isn't activated. Your off-season mode is activated. LeBron has totally tuned out this season. After 2 losses against, I think it was Memphis. Or no, it was New Orleans and then Memphis, I believe. I know it was New Orleans. I don't know the last team. But come on, LeBron. You had to see this kind of, arise, coming. You had to see, you guys are going to struggle to make a playoffs run. You're going to be in it. You're going to be in a battle for the last month of the season, the last 20, 25 games, whatever it is, last couple months of the season. You can blame that LeBron's been hurt. You can blame it on his teammates. You can blame it on whatever. You can make any excuse you want. But here's one thing that is true. LeBron needs to be liked. And when things go south, when he loses and he's criticized, All he wants to do is shift blame to somebody else. And when you have that type of leader on a young team like the Lakers, no wonder they are losing, and no wonder they're on the cusp of yet another season not being in the playoffs, with the best player in the world in their starting five, in LeBron James. LeBron needs to be liked. I mean, I've watched his post-game stuff. He is such a whiny little girl lately. He is so tuned out. He's so over whatever he got into. And guess what, LeBron? That's your fault, okay? And you got yourself into this. You're the one who wanted to sign that 4-year deal. You're the one who wanted to be committed to playing for the Lakers. You wanted to move to LA, not only for yourself, but for your kids. I understand that, and I commend him for it. But I mean, come on. LeBron playoff mode activated? Spare me, okay? If your playoff mode was activated, you wouldn't have lost these games. You wouldn't have gone out and called out your teammates. Young guys. This is not a veteran team that's supposed to win. That's what you do. You call out your team when you're a veteran player on a veteran team that should be winning. The Lakers are not that kind of team. The Lakers are a young, trying to develop their prospect and develop their young core and try to just get them to win some games. Put a couple games together. But not necessarily make a playoff run. Not necessarily make a run at a championship. So when you put that kind of attitude in that locker room, there's going to be problems. That's it. That's the underlying factor in it all. Is LeBron is the main reason why the Lakers are struggling. On the court and off the court. If you disagree, call in 916-278-3666. I'm Nick Koeneke. This is the Koeneke Hour. Follow my Twitter at the Koeneke Hour. Koeneke spelled Koeneke. Follow my podcast on YouTube. Just search the Koeneke Hour. If you weren't able to listen to part of the show, and then follow my Instagram, Nick Koeneke. I've been told I have one of the best Instagram stories ever. You're listening to KSSU.com, the student-run radio station of Sacramento State. Yeah, LeBron, I just don't know what to say. I mean, you got yourself into this, and now you want to shift blame? That's not what the number one player in the world does. That's not what a guy who, is supposed to be the face of basketball, who's supposed to be a face in the community, is supposed to be a face of a culture. He just looks really bad right now, and I don't feel sorry for him at all. I don't, and I hope. Well, I don't hope, because I never want to wish bad things on people. Well, teams is different than a person, right? Like, I hope the Patriots don't make it to the Super Bowl next year. So, okay, rewind. I hope the Lakers don't make the playoffs, because that makes LeBron look even worse. Not because I want LeBron to look bad, but I want him to, get some sort of reality check in him. And if he doesn't make the playoffs, if LeBron fails to make the playoffs, that's going to have a huge impact on his legacy. Negatively. It'll be interesting to see. I think if LeBron doesn't make the playoffs, that's a bigger storyline than if he did make the playoffs. Because he's LeBron James. He's supposed to make the playoffs every single year. And when he doesn't, I think that's a huge, interesting dive into a topic that you could talk about for the whole offseason. So LeBron not making the playoffs, I hope that happens. I really do. Not just, and it's interesting with the LeBron. I just caught myself doing that. You just say LeBron. You don't talk about the Lakers. You don't say, I really hope the Lakers don't make the playoffs. Everybody just says, oh, I hope LeBron makes the playoffs, or oh, I hope he doesn't make the playoffs. Because LeBron is his own figure. He's his own player. He's his own, whatever, right? LeBron is himself, and then it's teams and stuff like that. Because I just don't see LeBron fitting in with that team. And he's going to have no choice. I mean, I know I'm kind of diving into extraordinary, opinions or predictions, but, LeBron's stuck there unless he asks for a trade and wants out, which won't happen. I don't think that'll happen. He's stuck, and he's just got to figure it out. And he looks like a whining little girl. He looks like a third-year player who had a great year last year, and he's not getting paid, and he's complaining about it. That's what he looks like. All right, guys, let's move on before we hit our next break to a segment I just started a couple weeks ago, and that's called Koeneke's Best. And it's stories that I find on the internet that I find really funny or find that I want to share with you. And I saw this one, and I'm like, oh, this is just perfect because it relates to sports. So here's Koeneke's Best for the week of February 26, 2019. And here's the headline on the story. Man covers himself in peanut butter and walks around dog park after losing a bet. Did anybody see this? Anybody see this on the news or social media? I saw a blurb of it, and then I saw the actual story, and I decided to read it, and I thought I'd share it with you. So a man in Arlington, Texas, who came in last in his fantasy football league, had to do a very nutty thing as punishment. He had to walk around a dog park covered head to toe in peanut butter. Steven Shrout, 25, had never played fantasy football before this year, but decided to join a league with some high school friends who had been playing together since 2009. It was, and he quotes him, or the quote is from him. It says, "It was my first year, and I didn't do any kind of studying at first. I just kind of jumped in." Shrout told the station he was dogged by bad luck from the beginning when his top draft choice Pittsburgh Steelers running back Le'Veon Bell, of course, ended up sitting out the entire season. As a result, Shrout was given the choice of paying $250 to the winning person or perform a humiliating stunt. Shrout chose to do the stunt, standing in a Dallas dog park for 10 minutes in a gold Speedo and, oh yeah, covered in peanut butter. That is hilarious. I always see on the internet and social media people talking about how or showing images of people like standing on the side of the street saying, hey, with a sign, I lost fantasy football, I suck, or I stink, or, I'm really bad at this, or, whatever, right? It's hilarious. I love that story. Guy covered in peanut butter and has to walk around a dog park. So I saw actually a picture with it. And he just decides to walk in there. His friends are all videoing him, and he just decides to just stand there and let dogs come up. He doesn't run away. He's not he's being a good sport about it. He's just like, I lost. Come lick me. Excuse me. Yeah, I kind of feel bad for you, Steven. But that was hilarious. And of course the guy who just joined loses, and of course he drafts Le'Veon Bell. The guy is immediately, after Le'Veon said, I'm not playing, he was immediately, he's just like, I'm done. No way I'm winning this. All right, guys, we're going to hit our first break. I'm Nick Koeneke. Thanks for tuning in today. We'll be right back with the Koeneke Hour. More of the Koeneke Hour coming up. Robert Kraft. And then hot takes with my main man, Andrew, later on in the show. You're listening to the Koeneke Hour here on KSSU. 5:54 here on KSSU.com. I'm Nick Koeneke. Welcome back to the Koeneke Hour. Just got done talking about LeBron James and how he always needs to be liked and liked among the community. And when things go bad, he diverts that negative energy towards somebody else. And I think LeBron's in for a long season, a long end to the season, because the season's, I think there's only about 20 games left, and I really think this could be the toughest 20-game stretch for him, not just on the court but off the court, and what he's going to have to deal with this team. All right, let's move on to Robert Kraft. So did everybody check the story over the weekend about Patriots owner Robert Kraft and him being in Florida? So Robert Kraft was officially charged today with 2 misdemeanors on soliciting prostitution. Now, they don't really have any details about that, and I'm not going to get into that because that's not appropriate at all. What I am going to get into is what maybe the impact it's going to have on the NFL and himself. Because anytime this kind of stuff comes up with sports and people who are involved in sports, it's never pretty. So Robert Kraft is in for a long offseason, to say the least. Because if this gets worse, if the details of this gets worse, it involves other things, other legalities, whatever you want to call it, any terminology, vocabulary, however you want to describe it. This doesn't look good for Robert Kraft. And I had a conversation with a friend over the weekend, and my opinion of this changed from over the weekend till now. And I'll explain why. Over the weekend, I thought, all right, he's going to get charged with a couple things here. He's rich, he's powerful, he's famous. Everybody who seems to be in trouble with the law who involve famous people and people of power, they always seem to get away with. But they don't get away with it. It always ends up settling. Like, they pay a certain amount. They never really go to jail, and everything's fine. They just get a slap on the wrist, right? So Robert Kraft could potentially, he's going to. He's going to get disciplined by the NFL. This is not the first time him and his organization have been disciplined. And what I thought over the weekend, and I told my friend this, I'm like, dude, he's got so much money, he's got so much power, nothing's really going to happen. He might get charged, he might get convicted, and then that's it. I mean, he just pays the fine and then gets out of there, right? And then he gets, a couple draft picks away from his team and his organization or whatever. But my opinion has changed on this because these type of stories and these type of, incidents never look good. And for a league that's really trying to clean up its act with its players specifically, I think the NFL, especially with the Patriots, I think the NFL now has to... I think they're going to make an example of Robert Kraft. Much like they made an example of, Ray Rice, right? So, I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know if they're going to suspend him, fine him, make him leave, make him sell the team or, make him leave the organization and let his son run it because his son's been with him all these years. But Robert Kraft, he's not in a good spot. And I think the NFL and Roger Goodell specifically, they're going to be like, this is our chance, another chance for us to get back at the Patriots for what they've done. The tapes and footballs being deflated, all that stuff. And I think the NFL's thinking, okay, guys, we can really get this guy, and we can get him red-handed. I don't know what that's going to be. I'm not going to really speculate. But Robert Kraft is in trouble. He's in trouble. And it does not look good for him. And it's going to be interesting to see because the NFL is going to obviously have to wait for the legal procedures to end and find out what the investigators find. But this is just a crazy and it's just such a difficult topic to talk about. So I can't really say necessarily what. Because I'm on air and I can't really talk about it. So it's very hard for me to even speak about it because you're like, all right, well, what do I say, right? Because this can involve some bad, dark things. We don't know the extent. It could have just been the misdemeanor and that's it, a couple misdemeanors and then, that's it. In all fairness, it could be even way worse. And all I'm saying is this story's not going away. Robert Kraft is not going away, but the NFL and Roger Goodell are going to find a way to make an example out of Robert Kraft and make him really hurt. Because in the last couple of times, where they took draft picks away, Brady was suspended, all those kind of things, those kind of events back in the past, those didn't really affect the team. It didn't. So I think the NFL is like, man, we really got to do something. And we got to do something tough. We got to do something hard. Even if it's the misdemeanor. Or misdemeanors. But if it's more than that, then I don't know. Story's not going away, guys. It's going to be interesting to see what ends up happening. All right, guys, 5:50 before our next break in about 10 minutes, and Andrew Walgren, a.k.a. Horn Dog, he's going to join me for some hot takes. Talking everything. I have no idea what he has in store. This is what I love about Andrew's segment. He just comes in and just starts yapping. And I have no idea. We don't plan. I just Andrew, you're coming in. Get your stuff together. And I dedicated 20, 25 minutes to this because I have no idea what he's going to say. And that's what's so great about it. It's so natural and it's so it's unprepared and it's pretty great. But before we get into that, let's get into Stop It. Stop it right now.
Welcome to Stop It. Stop it right now.
No, 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 no!
Good morning, Vietnam!
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
Stop it. Get some help.
Every time I do this segment, I love the spot before it. I love the music. I love the NFL primetime music. Back in the old days, with Chris Berman, Tom Jackson, those were the days. When I was a kid, after every Sunday, I'd turn on ESPN, and I'd watch all the highlights with them, and it was fantastic. That's why I use it in this, because it gets me all real pumped up. All right, stop it right now. Haven't done this one in a couple weeks, so I'm trying to get back in the groove of things. One thing I've noticed, Andrew's here, so I'm going to let him in real quick. Andrew, I'm doing Stop It right now. Come on in. I'm live. I'm doing Stop It right now, so you're going to have to keep quiet for a little bit. Wearing a Redskins hat, huh?
It's my favorite hat.
It's your favorite hat. All right, I'm doing Stop It right now. Yeah. So one thing I've noticed with Instagram users lately, right? You can have a chair, whatever. How many hot takes you got today?
I think 17.
17 hot takes. I was just describing how this is my new favorite segment because...
Wow, I'm honored.
You're honored? Because it's so, I never know what you're going to talk about, and it's so fun to, just show up. And I know you're not going to make a fool out of me. Yeah, pull that mic down.
There we go.
Make a fool out of me. So I think it's great. And I'm happy you're here.
So what about Instagram users?
All right, Instagram users, right? One thing I've noticed is, why do people who are trying to slide into the DMs on Instagram are freakish about accidentally liking somebody's photo? You have any hot take on that before I get into what I'm thinking?
I would say that sliding into a nice woman's DMs is an art craft.
Okay.
And I'm a big fan of the sporadic like. You go back 6 weeks on her profile.
Yeah.
You find a photo where she's looking pretty good. You give her a like. It's a power move. You're self-conscious to not use that power move.
Mm-hmm.
You can be like, hey, baby, what's up in the DMs, but at the end of the day, that's not going to catch her attention. Some weirdo liking her photos?
Yeah, and I don't see the problem with it. I know so many people... And I just don't, what do you think's going to happen? I know that microphone's all jacked up, so you're going to have to, you're either going to have to stand or put your chin up super high.
Gotcha.
But anyways, what do you think's going to happen just in case you like somebody's photo from, 3 weeks ago? That they're going to think you're a creep or somebody really weird or whatever. I know, for example, Unj, who comes on my show all the time. Anytime he shows me an Instagram photo, he's like, I don't like it. So he, doesn't let me touch his phone. He's so like crazy about like not doing anything. I'm like, what do you think? The sky isn't gonna fall. Pigs aren't gonna fly out of my butt. What do you think's gonna happen?
It's a power move. It takes some cojones, and I think we both know Unch has no game, and that's really
He
the
doesn't.
problem. Yeah, a man with no game is afraid to like a picture 3 weeks ago.
So let me ask the viewers out there: if you're a woman and listening, like what, like do you have that same mentality? You're like, I don't want to go back and like any of their stuff because then they like. I'm so confused. In being a recent Instagram signee, so to speak, I never really understood why people freak out that, oh, I like somebody's photo on Instagram. There's nothing wrong with that. What is so wrong with liking somebody's photo? Nothing. It says, hey, you're at the Great Wall of China. That's really cool. I'm going to like that. I've been there. I, too, like the Great Wall of China. You like it because you posted it. Cool. We have something in common, something to talk about.
It's like reading a good book. I mean, you can go back on old books and enjoy them. I can go back on old posts and I can enjoy them, This nice lady's looking good in this post from 3 months ago. Hey, I still like it.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no... Okay, so who cares? You go back a couple months, what's that? Like, one scroll down on a photo? Or on a page and saying... Like, listen, I get it if you go, like, back 3 years and you're going past, like, hundreds of photos and you like one. That's kind of like, okay, what are you doing? But, like, a couple weeks ago, it's not that big of a deal. What do you think's gonna happen, people?
If she thinks you're creepy for doing it, she thought you were creepy beforehand.
Right! That's 100% Andrew. I tell you this all the time. You're a genius. And I just don't get it. I mean, I get it. But I just don't... in everything. I mean, hot takes, picks early in the year.
Let's go Bucks.
Social issues. You're always spot on with everything. And I just don't... I don't know what it is. Is it genes? Is it Sac State education? Is it junior college education? What is it?
It's that I didn't go to Davis, I just
don't say anything bad. We're on air, remember?
Well, I mean, I
You
wouldn't
can
say anything
criticize.
bad. I'm just saying that we're going to take him to town next Causeway Classic.
We're going to take them to town next Causeway Classic. The Causeway Classic was canceled today.
For
Baseball was supposed to play.
Good, because I wasn't going to show up. Now I am.
Now that's rescheduled.
Yeah, perfect.
All right, 5:57. Horn's going to come up next with some hot takes. We're going to hit a break. I'm Nick Koeneke. Make sure to follow my Twitter at the Koeneke Hour. Follow my podcast on YouTube. Just search the Koeneke Hour, and also follow my Instagram. And if I follow you and I like, a photo from 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, 2 months ago, it doesn't matter. Stop freaking out. I'm not creepy. Most guys aren't creepy. Okay, so you got nothing to worry about. So follow me at Nick Koeneke on Instagram. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back. What's going on, everybody? Here on a wet and rainy Sacramento. Been wet all day because I walked to school. And I always have to drive Andrew. Well, I don't always have. I don't have to. I should reword that. I choose to because I'm a nice guy and I don't want him. He doesn't have an umbrella. I'm always like, hey, want an umbrella? Nah, I'm good. I got my jacket. Like, well, what about your backpack and your head? Yeah, I'm good. Good. You want to ride? Ah, sure. Yeah, cool. Thanks. But he's here with some hot takes. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, and I'm so glad that you...
Get to the mic. Come on.
I'm sorry. I like sitting, man.
No, you can sit. Just get closer. You're so glad what?
No, I'm so glad you were talking about the rain, because that leads into my first hot take.
Okay, before we get into the hot take, what's up with the Redskins hat?
Redskins hat, not a very popular team outside of Washington.
Okay.
So last Black Friday, Lids, my favorite hat shop in the whole wide world,
Lids is good.
selling Redskin hats for $2 on the hat.
$2 on a hat.
Well, it was Black Friday.
Oh.
So, I mean, and I'm a sucker for hats. You show me a nice hat, I'm going to throw my money at you.
Right. You're always wearing a hat.
Yes.
Does the girlfriend like hats?
Does any woman like you wearing hats all the time? No.
Probably not.
No, not
They
really.
like the hair. But what if you're balding like me?
That's a tough one, because I think you look best with a backwards hat. But, the nice ladies you're going after, they don't like a hoodlum, so it's kind of a little risque.
So go with the balding.
Yeah, it makes you look smart.
Or receding.
Yeah, it makes you look smart.
But it makes me look old.
Yeah, but not too old.
Remember we were at the game and that the chick we were watching the game with said, or that guy, it was that guy, and he was just like, you look like my uncle.
Yeah, but like a good uncle. Like, you know, like my parents had kids' young uncle.
All right, let's start with hot take number 1. We did hot takes 2 weeks ago. Great segment. I'm having you back. What's number 1 on the hot take list?
So it's raining out, right? We're all going to class. Sacramento is just dumping on us. And there's those who have an umbrella, and there's those that don't. Now, the people with umbrellas, you know, they're having cute times with their significant under the umbrella, you know, holding hands, making kissy faces. God. And then there's, you know, just casually jaunting the class. Then there's people who don't have an umbrella, and they're running from covered structure to covered structure. Now, I apologize if I mess this up. I don't know the difference between goth and emo. But there is nothing more emo than walking in the rain without an umbrella. I saw a guy doing it. He didn't have any of the black wardrobe or, like, you know, any of the look going, but he's wearing all cotton, and he's just walking in the rain, just in the middle of the road. And I was like, that's the hardest emo I've ever seen. So there's nothing more emo than walking in the rain.
What do you think about the people wearing shorts in the rain? You wore shorts yesterday, but for, like, not a huge amount of time. But I saw guys, I'm walking back at about noon, and I saw guys coming to school in shorts. No umbrella, no rain jacket, just a sweatshirt and shorts.
I don't have a problem with it because, like, you know, you can wear, like, 3 layers and it's all cotton, and that's just going to get soaked and make you cold. The less clothing wear, I mean, it's not cold out, it's cold because you get wet and then you're sitting in your cold wetness, you know?
So it's kind of their fault or their
Yeah, but I mean, it doesn't even get you that cold. You know, the rain, I'm not a scientist, something about the rain makes it warmer out. Just in terms of... No, like, it's something to do with, like, precipitation and...
There's no way rain makes it colder.
It's just not going to be as cold as it was 2 weeks ago when we were 30 degrees. You know, now it's like a nice 60.
It's still pretty cold.
Yeah, no, it's cold, but I mean, I don't have a problem with it.
Okay, so there's nothing more emo than running from structure to structure.
No, just walking in the rain. This is a third group of just people just walking in the rain.
Just walking in the rain with nothing, no protection.
Yeah, they just like, they don't care to get where they're going and they're fine just getting drenched. These people are crazy.
These people are crazy. Hot take number 2.
Hot take number 2, the 76ers. They've had 2 trades this season. Jimmy Butler and Tobias Harris. Those are the big ones. I don't think they make it out of the first round.
76ers not making it out of the first round of the NBA. I'm not getting... Dude, you gotta... Yeah, get in there. Get in there nice and close. Andrew just doesn't like being in front of the mic. I don't know what it is.
It's scary, man. It's big.
Okay, why aren't they going to come out of the first round in the East? You would think they'd make it. Who would they play? Like, Miami?
Well, as of right now, they're pitted against the Celtics. I don't like them against the Celtics. A lot can change, but I mean, they're sitting at the 4th seed right now. I don't see them passing anyone. Even if they do pass them, I don't even like them against, like, the Pistons are being streaky lately. Blake Griffin's looking great.
Don't they have a losing record, though?
I think they just became 500.
Okay.
Or maybe they're a game out. But, I mean, I just don't like them against anyone, and I don't think they're going to start winning because they're having chemistry problems right now.
Are you a Joel Embiid fan?
He likes being in charge of a franchise. He's kind of like a Victor Oladipo kind of guy in the sense that, like, he does a lot when he's alone, but you're not going to see a whole lot of play out of him as the third guy on the team. And they don't have any A's on the team. They just got a couple B pluses, maybe just B's.
Well, what's Simmons then, do you?
A B, but I mean, he can't shoot.
Right.
And he's not holding the ball anymore because they've got so many players.
Did you see yesterday he tried to take a 3?
Oh, I didn't.
He didn't try. He did take a 3, and he missed. Like, first in his career, I think.
Yeah, he hasn't made a 3 his entire career.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't like it. I mean, I like him when he's, like, kind of having a Lonzo Ball kind of facilitator role, but you can't just, like, take the ball away from the dude.
So, not even get out of the first round.
No, I think they get beat down first round, which is awful because the GM's obviously put in hard work to move all these pieces to Philadelphia.
Even with the trades, nothing.
Yeah, and it's going to fall apart after that because they've got a bunch of, egos on the team. Mm-hmm. People are going to leave. I just think it was very poorly planned. They didn't land anyone big enough to make a difference.
Isn't Boban on that team?
Yes.
Didn't he just get hurt?
I don't know.
Okay. But he's not a factor.
No, he's not a factor. He's right on the bench. He was right on the bench of the Clippers. He wasn't a factor on the Clippers.
What do you think of his hands?
They are freakish. He's the funniest guy in the NBA. He's a freak. He literally looks like a caveman.
He looks like yeah. I was gonna say he looks like someone who came out of like who's the guy who made Frankenstein? You have any idea? What's the guy's doctor's name? Whatever, doctor, whatever. He looks like he created him. Hot take number 3.
Pitching timers in baseball. Now, I like the idea behind them. I like it. We got to speed up baseball. I want it to be more popular. It'd be fun if it was more popular. People would talk about it on shows more. But this pitching timer is ruining my favorite part about baseball, and that's the sexual tension in the 9th inning with a full count, and the freaking pitcher is just staring down the batter. Just staring into his soul, and he takes as long as he wants because he'll throw that ball whenever he wants. And
That's the best.
It's the best. The rest of the game, if we are to implement this, it's got to be just like first 8 innings. We have this 20-second rule, and then from there on out, you can just stare at a guy as long as you want.
I think I totally agree with the whole. Like in playoff games, and it's a 3-2 pitch. Bases loaded, 1-run game, and you just got that tension. Sometimes the tension of the moment before the actual moment is better than the actual moment.
You're on your seat at your house, you're just freaking out, you're like, when's he going to throw it? And then all of a sudden he decides, I'm going to play with my hat a little bit more before I do it.
Right, and it's all mind games. Here's my point, or thought and opinion on it. I don't think there should necessarily, and let me know if you agree, I don't think there should necessarily be a clock. It should just be kind of a standard, just make it make emphasis on it. Just be like, guys, get up to the mound and pitch. In pitchers, for example, this is why the rule is dumb. Okay, is because pitchers like being in a routine and they like getting up there and pitching. Most of the time, it's the batter who's not getting back in the box. So why are you penalizing the guy who isn't the problem? So if you're going to do this, which I really hope they don't, it should just be a standard. Just be like, guys, we got to speed it up. Just get back in the box and make the umpire be like, come on, get back in the box. Instead of having a clock. You know what I mean?
I couldn't agree more. It's not their fault, and I love the pitcher rituals.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, and the batter's got rituals. Overall, I disagree that you think, okay, this is a good thing that they're doing it. I don't think it is, but I know where baseball's going, and this is going to end up happening. It's going to. So just make a standard. Don't make a clock.
Yeah, generations after us don't want to wait this long to watch baseball.
No, they don't have an attention span.
It's fair, but I mean, there's nothing better than just the stare down.
Yeah.
The tension between
Craig Kimbrell and his little monkey thing, all right, where he's like this, and the batter's like, what's he gonna throw?
Exactly. I love a good stare down.
All right, hot take number 4.
So my buddy Pablo back home, last 3 women he's been seeing, they all had one thing in common, and that's they all downloaded this app called Facetuner. Now let me tell you about Facetuner. It's what people use to slim their figure and refine their face to post images on Instagram. What else did all these women complain about while hanging out with my buddy Pablo? Fake news. I found this outrageous. They are fake news. These women are posting fake photos of them on Instagram. People are publishing articles that aren't real. It's the same thing. These women are fake news. If you've downloaded Facetuner, you are fake news.
So that's the hot take.
That's the hot take, yeah.
Yeah, I remember you brought this up to me like a couple weeks ago, whatever it was. And you're like, can you believe people do this? And I'm like, I've never heard of this, but I can totally believe it. Like, it totally makes sense. Like, who's the Kardashian that's just got cheated on? Which one is Kourtney? She just got caught for doing a Photoshop or whatever people do to make their like butt look bigger or them look skinnier and stuff like that. I guess it's the same thing, right?
This is fake news. This is you presenting yourself as fake news. This isn't real.
Hot take number 5.
Hot take number 5. Oh, James Harden should not be in the MVP discussion.
Very hot take. Explain.
Just absolute trash. He has no game. They're better when he's off the court. Chris Paul is the best player on that team. He disappears in playoffs when the refs don't give him every single foul he cries for. One game he doesn't get fouls. He calls out the ref, says he shouldn't be officiating NBA games. The guy this 30-point streak of his has just been atrocious. it's very visible to see that he starts ball hogging when he's not at his 30-point, total. And he'll take 5 shots in a row. And then the 30-point streak ended with him going 0 for 10 from 3.
Did you see the Hawks? Harden got the ball with 20 seconds left in the game, and not one player guarded anybody else but Harden. They just surrounded him because they didn't want him to get the 30.
He is just so absurd. And the idea that this 30 points a game is keeping them alive, you know who they're 2 games in front of?
Who?
The tanking Clippers. The Clippers are trying to lose games, and Harden can't be better than 2 games ahead of them. It's absurd.
So you're saying not just Harden, but that whole team.
They're better when they don't.
But isn't that the MVP is supposed to be? When your team isn't doing it, you carry your team?
I remember a time when the best record won the MVP.
And you want to go back to that?
I think Antetokounmpo is running away with this award. Harden is...
they were ranked first in the overall NBA?
I know.
In the power rankings.
That was funny. Harden just plays iso ball. They don't win when they do it. It was shown last year in the playoffs when he blew that lead after CP3 got hurt. Just played he shouldn't even be in the NBA after that. It's just absurd. He shouldn't be in the MVP discussion. It's Paul George or it's Antetokounmpo.
Hot take number 6.
Okay, LeBron Space Jam 2 James. He had this whole... I wrote this hot take a few days ago, and I said his defense was why they're losing, but now there's that whole video of him, not guarding the guy from the 3 line.
Uh-huh.
So it's not that hot anymore.
Yeah.
But he calls out his entire team for being distracted. And this guy's out here producing 2 Chainz's album, missing a game against the Warriors to produce 2 Chainz's album. And then on top of that, he's having meetings about his pizza company. He's flipping just... What did he do last night? So he calls him out, and he's just signed a deal to do Space Jam 2. If anyone's distracted, it's LeBron. He's not even playing defense. This Lakers team won 35 games last year. They might not win more than 39 this year.
With the best player in the world.
The best player in the world. They didn't give up anything to get him. He hasn't done anything for this team.
I don't really have a response because I agree. I talked about how LeBron earlier, he's just a bad influence and he's not being a good role model. And I said it before he even stepped foot in Staples Center that he's not going to be good for this team.
People don't like LeBron. He gave that whole speech for Hillary in Ohio, and he couldn't even convince the people of Ohio. People of Ohio who love him.
Yeah.
He couldn't even convince them.
Yeah, I think people, much like Tom Brady, I think people like to hate LeBron.
Yeah, but I just...
No matter what he does off the field or on the court or whatever, or off the court, whatever.
Yeah. He's very divisive.
All right, we got to hit a break. We'll be back with the rest of Hot Takes and the sided debate of the week. We'll be right back. Hot Takes with Horn coming up, but before we get into that, let's get into the Koeneke Hour sided debate of the week. We just talked about LeBron, Andrew, and we talked about how he's a bad influence. We talked about how people like to dislike him, and I talked about how LeBron has this... whatever mindset, psychological, whatever about him that he always needs to be liked, just like the rest of the NBA. We talked about it yesterday. KD, Kyrie, Russell, they all need to be liked, and that's kind of what just not the theme, but what the NBA is like now. So what I want to do is to get more information on this debate, go to sided.co. Here's the question: is LeBron James' leadership and just LeBron overall a bad influence on the Lakers? Before we get into the rest of the hot takes, I'm guessing you agree that he's bad.
I don't think he's a great player. He's not a great leader. That's why you've seen a lack of championships behind him. He's not actually clutch. It's just if you get in enough, championship situations, you're going to pull it off a few times. Mm-hmm. So people like to say he's clutch, but I remember the years where he just, disappeared. Mm-hmm. And, if you get 10 chances and you make 2 of them, the last 2 good, you're going to be viewed as a clutch player.
I'm guessing you don't think LeBron James is the best player ever.
I'm really hoping he doesn't make the playoffs this year because it's going to be
saying that too.
It's going to be very hard to argue that he's the best player ever. It's going to be very hard to argue that he's better than Kobe.
Wow.
If he disappears from here on out. Remember, people used to say that Carmelo and LeBron were neck and neck. Now anyone would just laugh at you.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. But I mean, that's just because Carmelo went to the Knicks, fell apart physically, and now we laugh at Carmelo. Most people today don't think he's a Hall of Famer. You told someone 8 years ago.
Okay.
You told someone 8 years ago that if Carmelo was going to be a Hall of Famer, they would have told you outright yes. I say that this whole Lakers saga could totally destroy his legacy.
If he doesn't make the playoffs, and I talked about this, that it would have a lasting impact on his legacy if the Lakers don't make the playoffs. You agree?
I agree.
All right, hot take number 6.
So I saw this girl in my class, and she was wearing a visor. So my initial response was, "Are you on the softball team?"
Right, or cross country or some sort of sport. Yeah.
Well, I think softball, just because
Yes.
And she said no. And I thought that was the biggest power move a female can do, is wear a visor to class and not be on the softball team.
Okay.
It was crazy. Her fashion sense was gone wild. She was wearing a visor. It was raining out.
Okay.
A wild woman.
I don't get it, but all right.
A visor makes a wild woman. That's the hot take.
Hot take number 7.
Growing a dirty beard doesn't make you an intellectual.
Say that one more time, sorry.
Growing a dirty beard doesn't make you an intellectual.
People say my mustache is dirty.
No, I'm talking about because it's fine if you quaff it.
I think I know exactly who you're talking about.
No, it's a lot of people. It's when it starts going off your chin and you have no regard for where it's going. Like some hairs are longer than the other. But all these guys think they're the bee's knees and the smartest guy in the room at all times. And they always have gloves that they wear with this look. And maybe a gray sweater with a zip up. I don't know. But it's definitely a type of guy, and they all think they're super smart as soon as they get their dirty beard going. It doesn't make you smart. I just want to break the news to them.
So they think... What about those, they think they're hippie or hipster with the beard?
Yeah, I'm talking about the guys who aren't necessarily hippies. We're not talking about guys who are
Right.
seeing waves, man.
Right.
We're talking about guys who just have these eccentric beards. I'm so eccentric because I'm so smart kind of beards.
So I'm looking... this is not a hot take, but I'm looking into the Well, which is the gym here at Sac State, and it says, "Let's blunt up," and it's marijuana education. What do you think of that? I don't know. I just saw that sign. I saw the weed plant or whatever. And I'm like, oh, what's that?
School money shouldn't be going towards that. It's a waste of school money. I'd rather have that and put into a jacuzzi in the well.
Yeah.
We need to start putting funds where we want our funds. I want a jacuzzi in the well. I don't want all these random speaking events about marijuana.
All right, hot take number 8.
So you heard about the Zion. He was playing a game against, it was Carolina, right?
Yeah, North Carolina.
And his shoe blew out. And Nike's stock fell like $1 billion in a night. 1% down. Huge deal because, it showed that their shoes are flimsy. I don't blame Nike at all for this. If you put Godzilla in a pair of Nikes, they're bound to explode. It's just... What do you want them to do? What do you want them to do? Make them out of titanium?
Godzilla.
It just doesn't even make sense.
Okay. So you're blaming Zion.
Well, it's no one's fault, but we're going to be shocked that Zion blew out a shoe?
Well, no, that's like when you bust open a baseball after knocking a home run. Like the seams break.
Yeah, he's
it's a big deal.
He's a different human. He's just... You can't put Godzilla in an elephant cage. He's gonna break out.
Do you think him getting hurt, or the history of him getting hurt, affects him being a first overall pick?
Probably not, because he's gonna play out the year.
What about... I saw this, and I thought this was really interesting, because I've never seen it before. I'm sure other players have done it. I've just never seen it. He has an insurance policy with whoever, that if he's not a top, 10 pick or something like that, he gets thousands and thousands of dollars, hundreds and thousands of dollars.
Just based on his health, if it's because of his health?
I don't know. I just know that if he's not a top 10 pick or whatever it is, it's somewhere in the first round. Mm-hmm. He has an insurance policy that if he doesn't, then he basically because there's a big difference between the money you get as a first overall pick and a second pick, there's like the difference is like $100,000. It's a good amount of money. He basically gets that money if he falls in the draft. What do you think of that?
That's wild.
Smart? You care?
I mean, it's smart. I don't know how it totally works. So I don't really feel like I can comment on that.
Hot take number 9.
Oh, on the hot tub hype. Everybody
hot tub,
wants a hot tub, but
Okay.
nobody wants a hot tub. You know, everybody gets a hot tub or they have a hot tub. You know, personally, at our apartment complex, we've got a hot tub.
Right.
And how many visitors has it had in the last month? You and me?
Yeah, we've used it, 4 times?
Yeah, something like that. There's not a soul that uses that hot tub. Now, everybody will tell you in, dreamland, I want a hot tub with my house. But nobody wants a hot tub. I see so many hot tubs neglected across America.
Hot take number 9, or 10.
Antonio Brown isn't a top 5 wide receiver, and so I don't care where
What?
he goes.
Even me, who's just so negative now towards him.
OBJ, Hopkins,
Hopkins? Yeah.
Juju, Julio.
Juju is definitely not on that list. I
Juju?
love Juju.
Wait him break out. He's going to break out this
All right,
next
who are
year.
the other two? Who are the after Juju?
Thielen, Evans.
Evans? Tampa Bay Evans?
Yeah.
God, you're so... I dropped my lollipop. You're so full of... I don't know what you are. Explain yourself.
He's
Wait, then where's AB? 6, 15,
Listen,
40?
We'll revisit this when he goes on another team and he starts, choking away a whole season. But
He's a wide receiver.
He's had Big Ben his entire career, and
Okay.
he was questionably not the best player. He's not the best wideout on his team last year.
Oh, yeah.
There's
100% agree.
players who do way more with way less.
Right.
Hopkins does so much every year. He just recently got a quarterback.
Who's the quarterback? Oh, Watson. Yeah.
He's been dealing with Brian Hoyers his entire career. And
Brian Hoyers. Not Brian Hoyer, but the equivalent of Brian Hoyer.
Yeah, just there's like 100 Brian Hoyers in the league. It doesn't really matter. He's been putting up 1,000-yard seasons with nobodies. He had Whedon on the team for a while too. I think he had Whedon.
Yeah.
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 Put up 1,000 yards with Whedon. He doesn't care. He'll do whatever he wants.
628 here on KSSC.com. You're listening to the Koeneke Hour. I got Horn here with me for some hot takes. All right, a couple more before the end of the show because I got to go to a musical jazz performance for a class. Any hot takes on that?
I took theater last semester. I'm taking dance this semester. They don't make you buy a textbook, but you have to go watch 2 performances so that somebody's actually watching these student-run
I have to pay
concerts.
$5.
I had to pay $30 for all 3 I've done. It's been brutal.
Ugh.
And you know that no one would be in the stands if it wasn't for, all these classes that require it.
All right, let me give myself a plug. Try to find the last 2 best of, the 10 that you have left, all right? This is the Koeneke Hour. Make sure to check out my Twitter, at the Koeneke Hour, Instagram at Nick Koeneke, and podcast. If you weren't able to listen to some of the hot takes, go back on YouTube, search the Koeneke Hour, and find the podcast on YouTube. Horn, last 2 hot takes of the day. What you got?
A-Rod is a boring robot, and I don't want to ever hear him talk again.
Why? I mean, he's on Sunday Night Baseball. He knows what he's talking about. He just keeps talking. He talks a little too much for me, but he's a smart guy, and he makes you feel smarter listening to him. I appreciate that out of broadcasters.
I don't need someone to make me feel smart. I just need someone to get me intrigued. He says nothing. He compliments everyone. He has no personality. He says
No
everything.
personality. He's dating J-Lo. How do you not have a personality?
Okay, J-Lo. Okay, yeah.
That gives you street cred, personality cred, whatever.
Dating J-Lo doesn't give you a street
Yes, it does, 100%. If you dated J-Lo, I think you're so much cooler than you are.
Yeah, but I'm not rich and, How tall is A-Rod, you say?
Probably 6'5".
Yeah, I'm not 6'5" and rich. Being 6'5" and rich is a huge plus. Doesn't mean you got a personality.
Okay, but... Alright, go on. What's your point?
I don't want to hear him talk again. It's
So
annoying.
you will not be watching Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN?
No.
Alright, last hot take from Andrew. What you got?
So I know you and me have talked about this before, but there's this Saigon Bay on campus. It's a noodle shop, and you can literally watch them take their cup of noodles out of the back and put all of their processed ingredients in, which I can do myself for $1.20. And they sell this chicken noodle, one small slice of chicken breast in the soup for $13. I can recreate this at home for $1.20, and it's way better. I don't understand all. And you go in there at lunchtime, it's packed, wall to wall. Everybody's Instagramming it. Everybody's enjoying their.
But it's the equivalent to ramen, top ramen.
I just don't understand how they work these margins, or how like all of them have agreed that we're gonna overprice this by $10. It's amazing. It's $2 they're giving you.
You mean so they're making a profit of like 11?
Yeah, that's what I don't understand how they work these margins.
Well, no, it's smart by them. It's done by the consumer.
How do you get every single ramen shop in Sacramento to agree to this? This is absurd. Why didn't one guy just be like, I'm fine making 4?
Well, it's the convenience of being on campus.
Yeah, but it's not just them. It's all these ramen shops around town.
Well, why don't you just eat ramen at home then?
Oh, yeah, no, I do. But I mean, I just witnessing this it's absurd. I can't believe these exist.
So you went once, you'll never go back again.
Oh, yeah, it was horrible.
So it not only was pricey, it just wasn't good.
Dry chicken, it wasn't spicy.
God, what's up with you and spice? What's up with you and spice?
Spice is good.
And then you don't do dessert. Like I ate 6 clumps of cookie dough today.
Spice is nice.
And you don't like that. I know spice. I get it, but I'm just saying.
Just a wild kind of guy, man.
I guess. I mean, you're the guy at Taco Bell who gets the extra hot or whatever. What's it at Taco? The sauce?
I don't know. I actually
mild.
Go medium.
You go medium.
Yeah, I'm not crazy at Taco Bell.
Oh.
I gotta keep the it's an endurance race ordering 3 things at Taco Bell. And
what do you mean?
Well, like if I start doing extra spicy on the first thing at Taco Bell, I'm gonna be burning before I get to my second thing. Not gonna be able to finish this buffet I just bought for $6.
Do you ever go with the box, the Taco Bell box?
Oh yes,
the $5 box or whatever they call it.
We used to do my senior years. We get the $12 taco or the 12 taco box.
Yes, I remember that.
Comes with 3 Cool Ranch. Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
3 nacho cheese, 3 regular. Just go to town.
That's 9. You said 12.
No, it was 4 of each.
Oh, 4 of each.
Yeah, it was Cool Ranch, nacho cheese, regular.
Got it. All right, Andrew.
Hey, it was a pleasure.
Appreciate the time. You'll be back in a couple weeks for more hot takes. Thanks for the time, buddy.
Thank you so much.
All right, that's Andrew. All right, we're getting ready to wrap things up here on the Koeneke Hour on KSSU. Once again, follow my Twitter at the Koeneke Hour. Follow my Instagram at Nick Koeneke. Follow my podcast on YouTube at the Koeneke Hour. Just search that, and you could go back and listen to all the interviews, all the segments. Go back and listen. If you missed today's show, go back and listen to my LeBron take, because I think I'm pretty spot on with it. And that seems to be the hot topic of, this week. It's not spring training, it's not football, it's not Robert Kraft. It's all about LeBron. I mean, Robert Kraft's a big topic, but it's all about LeBron. And I'm with Andrew here. I think the better story is LeBron missing the playoffs than him getting an 8 seed with a crappy Laker team that's not going to win 1 game in a 5-game series. That's just the case. But I'll be back next week right here on KSSU, 5 to 7 here on KSSU.com. Also, search KSSU on the TuneIn radio app if you are in the car or wherever you are. Once again, I'm Nick Koeneke. Thanks for tuning in to today's program, and I'll catch everybody next week.